Hi, I'm Nicole. Let's do it again.
But you start. Okay. And action.
Listen for my how.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
And I'm Misha.
And we're Ritual Común.
Yay!
So if you're watching this video, maybe you've watched a few of our other videos, and then welcome back. And if this is your first one, we have a few other videos introducing ourselves, so maybe you can check those out.
So today we are here to talk about my favorite topic. How to ritual, or what rituals are. I want to mention here in this point what a ritual is and what a ritual is not. Okay, so when we first began, I remember we were telling people to come to our small events. We were doing new moon and full moon rituals like we've talked about before. And we still do them from time to time, especially in group and through digital events. But here's the deal. People would always ask me, like, what do you even do with these rituals? And I was like, well, we take the blood of a lamb and we sacrifice them. And obviously we paint ourselves in
But
bloodshed.
we're vegan, so happy lamb.
And it was like, people actually were like, are you guys into that kind of stuff? And it was like, that's a quite extreme ritual. Like I'm sure people practice very, very intentional rituals. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely that kind of stuff out there. That's not what we do. And it's not what we talk about, and that's not what we practice. What we do and what we want to do is to bring everyday rituals into a sort of intentional practice.
And that's who we are, right? We're Ritual Común. For me, rituals have made a really big difference in my life as far as being able to hold myself accountable to the goals and intentions that I have in my life. I think it's really easy sometimes to say, I'm gonna start, working out or eating better, doing my homework without procrastinating, which was my personal one. And you say it, and maybe you set an intention for it, you're meditating, you're trying to make this space in your life. But then you forget, like maybe you go hard at it for a week, and then it just kind of falls behind and you continue on with your life as before. Being able to do a group ritual and being able to speak on my intention made it almost more real. Like I had now accountability for what I had set out there, which is kind of sad if I wasn't accountable to myself, but it really taught me to be able to have steps that are
and it gave you
viable.
the opportunity to be more accountable. When we're together in a group, we do intention setting. That's a big ritual, and typically we kind of have it. We always have like our little water or fire or tea or earth, and after we do some kind of intention setting, and literally this is writing down our goals and our dreams and our desires, then we will either submerge them into water or burn them with a candle, like with a flame, or plant them into the ground. And it's like a physical representation of what we want to happen with the things that we're intending for in our lives. But that doesn't mean it has to be an everyday ritual that you do. That's just sort of like a ritual for something, right?
And for me, those rituals have been special because it's almost like a big starting point, right? It really gives you the motivation and it makes you excited to do whatever it is that you want to do. The last ritual that we held, I wanted to focus on my health. And it was a really big thing. I had been ignoring a lot of things for quite some time, and setting that intention and being able to do a watercolor about it and put it somewhere, giving myself that reminder, it just made it more concrete and special. But the other side of rituals, like she was talking about, is little things like when I'm getting ready in the morning, the space where I have all my stuff, all my skincare and everything, I set it up so that it looks and feels special to me. And then it's not maybe like Harry Potter magic, but to me, like the start of my morning or my evening routine feels like magic. It just feels really personal and special to me, and I feel like I'm honoring myself in a really authentic way. And that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about these rituals that maybe it's not setting your intentions to the moon, but making your day-to-day life include these little rituals that make you feel alive and happy and like you're honoring yourself.
And there's these other aspects of like, maybe we want to start to create a habit, right? So when you're creating a habit, some of the most effective ways are to, like what we've read is to have like like a prompt or like some kind of thing that ignites that habit. So right in the morning when you wake up, or let's say just before you have lunch or before bed, something that you're naturally already going to do innately, no matter what. Like it's not going to be a variable in your schedule. And so then when you have that sort of go-to, you know, okay, this thing comes next. For example, every single time that I'm with my friends, if I have a glass of wine, I know I get really dehydrated, and I always have tea with my wine. People think it's so weird, but I literally am like, hold on, we're having wine, I'll bring some tea. And it's one of these things that I do. I really enjoy the wine taste, but I know I get really thirsty, I get really dehydrated, and it doesn't serve me really well to have a lot of wine. So I make sure that I have hydration in the form of tea, because it actually helps me even digest the acids from the wine better. It's really funny. But I know because it feels so good in my body that when I'm drinking my tea and I'm enjoying my friends, I just feel like the wine, the tea, and the friends is a little ritual that I've now created to enjoy that social circle and that social time that I have with people. And I think that that's just one of the very, very many rituals that we say we've created for ourselves now in this practice, because it's things that don't even have to do with something that you want to change or fix or bring into your life, just even things that feel good to you. So in that sense, the rituals that we've created can be anything from everyday habits to even enjoying things better and finding a way to maximize the things that you want to experience day to day.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are really interested with meditation, like how do I start meditating, because we know all these great things about meditation and all of the benefits it has for your body and your mind and your soul and everything. You know, meditation is great. And it's hard to get started, and a lot of people have a lot of difficulty getting started with that.
And you can watch our other video about how to stop the distractions or why you can't meditate, and that speaks a little bit to what we're about to talk about right now with this ritual practice.
Yeah, so with meditation, you can do a lot of different things. Like if you're having difficulty settling your mind and everything, creating little rituals that maybe your intention is not like, I need to quiet my mind right now, but things that you know you enjoy that already help you kind of focus. So for me lately, the way that I've been meditating has been, I will sometimes switch it up a little bit, but it always has these elements. And for me to start to focus myself, I will start to draw or sketch. And so I'm really awful at journaling, so I don't like to write down my feelings. It makes me uncomfortable. But I will draw things, and even if they're not great drawings or anything, it helps me focus for that time, and it makes me really happy. And then after I'm in that space, then I can either grab my mala beads and meditate, or just do mindfulness meditation for however long I feel like I need it that day. And then I'll read a book, and whatever book I'm reading, sometimes I switch it. I don't stick with the same book, I'll switch them out, but sometimes I'll just, I've been reading this one lately. It helps me kind of wind down as well. And then afterwards,
this is the book, just so you can see. The Tibetan Book of the Dead. It's a great book. If you haven't tried to read it, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I try to pick books that are kind of also geared to some kind of spirituality, because it makes my night feel really special to me. And then reading the book, I read it in bed, I switch from going to my living room to my bed, and then I go to sleep. And that's kind of my nighttime ritual for myself. And it's changed over the years, but right now this is what's been really working and makes me feel really happy.
And that's the goal, right? Is to feel happy with what you're doing. I have also a really quick example that when I begin to write, I'm a writer, and so I have these times of the day that I know I can write. It's my most creative times of the day, and I feel it. I feel really inspired in these times. There's some things that I have to do for myself in order to write, so it's almost like to begin a process as well. You can use these rituals. I think that's also really interesting, because a lot of people say you can't sleep, or you can't this, or you can't that, but it's not that you can't, it's just that you haven't found the right way to do it. And yes, it's difficult, but if you kind of comfort yourself or sort of set the stage in order for you to be able to shine and perform through whatever thing you're going to do, right? Whether it be sleeping or writing or reading or just chilling, literally. Sometimes it's so hard to just chill. With my practice of writing, I have to make sure that one, I have a lot of light in my space, and so either I go outside or I go to a space that's really well lit, and I will again, I have my little tea or my coffee, and I'll sit there and I'll make sure that I have all of my favorite things around me. And it's really funny because I'll find books, like many books, and sometimes I have some of my favorite writers, and I put those books down in front of me before I write because I feel like all those famous writers are there in the room with me before I begin to write. And it's something that I feel is really near and dear to my heart. You bring these practices into your life and it really, really seriously, it maximizes your experience.
Yeah. And the big difference is that a lot of the times I'll talk about it as like my routine. And it is, routines really help us feel comfortable and really helps our body get primed for whatever activity that we're trying to do. So you have your morning routine when you're going to work, you're having all these things that become routine, but turning that routine into a ritual, the real difference there is that you have a set intention and you're honoring that part of your life in a way that makes it a little bit more substantial. And so it's like having a routine and amping it up, giving it a little bit more power so that one, it serves you better, and two, you feel a lot better doing it. It's not just, your mindless routine that you go through, but you're present throughout it, which is really beneficial for your health. And also it makes you cultivate this practice of meditation and being more present with yourself. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, and ultimately the idea is that when you create these new elements into your life, you're practicing you're practicing a sense of holistic living, tuning into who you are, what you feel you are, and what you feel you need. And that's something that we're so disconnected from. So try it at home. Write down a few things if you want to, a couple of things that you already do that you would love to incorporate into a little ritual. Let us know in the comments below. If you liked our video, please give us a big thumbs up. And if you didn't, go to another channel, like right now.
If you like what you hear and you want to keep the conversation going, listen to our podcast, Ritual Común Contigo.
Also, check out our Instagram where we have affirmation, oracle cards, and give a special message just for you.
Make sure to check out our website,
ritualcomún.com.
Inhala,
Exhala. Inhala. Exhala.